In the headlines, government develops a framework for consumer protection. Dominica hosts the first ever academic conference of ENT specialists in an effort to enhance patient care. And major investment in tourism sites under a $21 million allocation for tourism development. I am Andrea Lee with the Channel 5 News, back with the details after this. Thank you for staying with us. First up, the Ministry of Trade has announced plans to develop a framework for consumer protection, including the passage of a related bill by May. Consumer protection safeguards the rights of consumers in the marketplace. A lot of it is done through policy and legislation as well as organizations. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Trade, Sylvanie Burton, spoke at a news conference on Monday to launch Consumer Protection Week 2017. She says an independent non-governmental organization, Dominica Consumer Association, Inc., has been formed to raise awareness, and staff in the ministry have been trained to deal with consumer complaints.
A consumer protection policy is currently being reviewed and will be submitted to Cabinet for approval. This policy will guide the manner in which consumer affairs is treated within this country. The Consumer Affairs Unit within the Division of Trade will be bolstered so that it is better equipped and able to deal with consumer grievances and related issues.
Activities as part of Consumer Protection Week include community visits and media programs. Also, officials with the Consumer Product Incident Reporting System of CARICOM, also known as CAREX, are expected to hold a two-day meeting on March 13th and 14th. In other top stories, Dominica is hosting the first ever academic conference of ear, nose, and throat specialists. The three-day conference, which opened at Fort Young Hotel on Monday, will consist of 10 formal academic sessions. Some of these sessions will cover evolution of hearing technology and how to manage certain tumors, among other topics. It is expected that the information sharing among the doctors will hopefully lead to enhanced treatment for ENT patients in the Caribbean.
It's also an opportunity for Caribbean ENT surgeons to keep fraternal connections and bonds, because most of us work as isolated ENT specialists, and so it's really an attempt to foster a Caribbean approach to ENT problems and identify specific ENT problems in the Caribbean.
The 25th Annual Conference of the Caribbean Association of Otolaryngology is being held here in association with the University of the West Indies. Otolaryngology is a surgical subspecialty within medicine that deals with conditions of the ear, nose, and throat, ENT, and related structures of the head and neck. ENTs in the region are concerned about certain health issues which they say they increasingly encounter in their work.
Like everywhere else in the world, the incidence of cancer is on the increase, and so we're seeing that too. Unfortunately, in the Caribbean, a lot of people do not seek help early, so we often see very late or advanced cancers, which for us is a concern, but also we see a lot of trauma. And in other islands, perhaps more so than in Dominica, we see trauma from road traffic accidents and trauma from interpersonal violence. And we hope that those are significant consumers of our resources that we can work towards reducing.
The conference theme this year is Otolaryngology in the Caribbean, embracing the future and improving outcomes. The CAO has members not only in the English-speaking Caribbean, but the Dutch Antilles, the United Kingdom, and the United States of America. On to tourism now, where significant investment in tourism sites for this financial year forms part of an over $21 million allocation for tourism development. Community tourism stands to be enhanced as a result.
In this financial year alone, government has increased spending in tourism by over $21 million. This has included the $50 million provision through the Aid Bank, a special loan facility for the hotel sector and the restaurant sector to improve and increase on their operations, an increase in the marketing budget from $6 million to $8.5 million, which is $2.5 million, an increase in the World Creole Music budget of $1 million, the increase of the Carnival budget by $360,000, and capital expenditure for tourism sites in Roseau. For tourism sites, the Roseau enhancement and community tourism of $2.2 million. This all adds up to the $21+ million.
Meantime, Chairman of the Discover Dominica Authority, Benoit Badwell, says the $8.5 million marketing budget has put tourism authorities in a position to meet objectives that were not previously possible.
That has been a serious improvement from the years when we were given $4 million to market Dominica. And so this thing, the amount of money put into that war chest for marketing is allowing us to do the things that we could not do before and create a better awareness on Dominica. Because as you would know, we had problems in the past where persons were saying constantly that there was not enough awareness of Dominica. And so we are in fact doing quite a bit, and we are also making changes along the way to be able to allow us and to afford us the opportunity to get Dominica's name out there within the tourism community.
In more tourism developments, statistics for the last 3 months of 2016 will determine whether there was an increase in visitor expenditure for the island. Idona Jean-Baptiste has that story.
Statistics provided by the tourism minister so far indicates $223 million in visitor expenditure was recorded for January to September 2016. If over $114 million in visitor expenditure is recorded for October to December 2016, that would make the difference for an increase when compared to 2015. The Discover Dominica Authority has indicated that visitors spend in excess of 500 EC per day, a tremendous source of foreign exchange. Tourism Minister Senator Robert Tong has reminded the public that tourism is still one of the main revenue generators for the island.
As we're all aware, tourism is a major driver of the Dominican economy and one of the highest contributor of foreign exchange on the island. In 2015, visitor expenditure stood at $337 million. Preliminary statistics indicate that visitor expenditure for January to September 2016 was $223 million. Therefore, the importance of tourism to the economy cannot be overemphasized.
In related news, the Caribbean Tourism Organization has reported a 4.2% increase, or 1.1 million more, in international tourist visits to the Caribbean in 2016. In fact, the Caribbean posted its 7th year of continued growth last year, with 29.3 million international tourist arrivals, when compared to 28.2 million in 2015. Intra-Caribbean travel has also increased in 2016 by an estimated 3.6%. That's the second year in a row in which growth is being seen in visits from one Caribbean destination to another, with the majority of tourists visiting Dominican Republic, Trinidad and Tobago, and Barbados. The CTO noted despite this positive result, intra-regional travel remained costly with fragmented air service. In the cruise sector, cruise passenger arrivals to the Caribbean increased by 1.3%, a reflection of 26.3 million arrivals. The Cruise Lines International Association estimated that the Caribbean received 33.7% of all cruise deployments in 2016, almost twice as many as any other region. The increase is being linked to a combination of varied performances in cruise activity among the destinations, including larger ships, port enhancements, and new destinations on the Caribbean cruise itineraries, which helped to increase the attractiveness of Caribbean cruise holidays. On the other hand, growing concerns of Zika virus tempered the demand for cruises, while adverse weather forced several ports to be avoided. Dominica is expecting an increase of 34,000 cruise visitors for the 2016-2017 cruise season, estimating that 310,000 cruise passengers will arrive on the island's shores. Idona Jean-Baptiste, Channel 5 News.
The Dominica State College is hoping that its first ever victory at the Windward Islands debating competition can help renew interest in debates on island. The competition was held in St. Lucia from 3rd to 4th March and took place among community colleges in the sub-region. The team consisted of DSC students Daniel Panthe, Mari Ajimanuel, Almira Lewis, and Inola Vital. They were accompanied by Director of Student Services Edgar Hunter and Advisor to the Literary and Debating Society Trudy Christian. Almira Lewis won individual awards for Best Speaker in the finals as well as overall Best Speaker. Maria Jimanuel took home the award for Best Speaker in the semi-finals. Channel 5 News was at the ferry terminal for the team's arrival on Sunday.
Don't be afraid to do it. Debating is an avenue for young people to give their views, and that is factual views. So you are not just blabbering or do something on news and you just start making noise or something. You get to do research on the topic, and that allows you to be more knowledgeable about that topic. So debating is a good avenue to get to know more about things as well as to just release your opinions about things into the public.
It's definitely an honor because this was the first competition of its kind. It's happened for 45 years in the Leeward Islands, but this is the first time for the Windward Islands. So it was indeed a great feeling to know that we were able to win that, we were able to win it for Dominica.
I mean, it's the inaugural, the first ever debate championship, and we prepared so much with sleepless nights, restless nights, just trying to make sure we fix all edges, fix all creases, and it really paid off, it paid off.
I think really the onus is upon us as the adults to really make the debating culture or the whole skill of debating seem important. So we need to make a conscious effort to really encourage debating. Anytime the students debate, encourage them, support them, sponsor them. And then I think if we consciously support the debating nature within the college, then it will eventually spread further afield. So it's just, you know, all the corporate sponsors, people in big positions elsewhere, they need to support what we're doing, and then it will spread, I think, you know, further afield.
Coming up, the first ever Bouyon Road March title, plus sports and weather. Welcome back. The country's first ever Bouyon Road March title has been split between the reigning Bouyon monarch and one of Dominica's lead Bouyon bands. Carlin XP Xavier Philip, who won the competition in 2016 and 2017, is sharing the Road March title with the Triple K band.
Unfortunately, one of them did not register. However, we would like to recognize them. They won the most played song of the unregistered songs was Roll That Boom Boom by Triple K, and the most played song of the registered was Bouyon Calling by Carlin XP. Both will receive tokens from the Bouyon Monarch for the road march this year, and as I said, next year it will have a substantial monetary prize to this, because we will be celebrating I understand that there are plans for the 30th year of Bouyon in existence, as well as the 40th year of independence for Dominica.
Participants in the second annual Bouyon Monarch competition held in February also received their awards over the weekend. Carlin XP, who retained the title of Bouyon Monarch, won $10,000. Beno came in second and won $5,000. Third place went to Anwa, who received $3,000, while Fetty Mark came in fourth and got $2,000. A total of 11 artists participated in this year's Bouyon Monarch competition. Meantime, consultant with the Dominica Festivals Committee, Val Coffey, is applauding the increase in Bouyon music on the road for Carnival. Coffey says there is a growing appreciation for Bouyon music as evidenced on Carnival Monday and Tuesday.
We saw the tremendous support that was given to the Triple K band. We saw the support that's given to the original Bouyon pioneers, the Signal band, to WCK band in its present form. So clearly there's some love there, and we saw some movement in terms of what happened when some DJs did play Bouyon songs from Asa Band and the other acts. So we should not really feel like as if, well, Bouyon was not played. Unlike, I mean, it was played, it probably wasn't played to the extent that everybody would have wanted to hear it at every time they turn the corner. But we have to give Jack his jacket. The musical industry is a diverse one, and we all have to try and solve our responsibilities and do our part.
Curfew pointed out that there are several initiatives to grow the Bouyon industry, and this is a good thing for the genre.
The Bouyon Monarch this year stepped up, which is good. We hope to improve that in the years to come. We saw Bouyon Day, which will become much more bigger than how it was this year, and hopefully it will be something similar to what happens in Marshall Monday in Trinidad. You want to make Bouyon become, a key staple for your carnival is your music. And we saw the number of performances and that have been performed by the bands all around Dominica. So definitely the Bouyon music is getting there. And we're going to keep working at it because it's a work in progress.
The consultant says, however, that disorganization within the music industry must be addressed in order to help move music forward and outward.
The problem we have is that our musical industry in Dominica has been short-changed with disorganization for several years. I came here and a lot of us meeting this disorganization. And all we're trying to do is to do a little bit to try and make it better, and the constant tagging and fighting and unnecessary bickering and who don't like who, it doesn't help us. We all have to forge ahead, come together, get ourselves organized, and try and give it the best we can for Bouyon, for Dominica's music.
A fresh tourism awareness campaign will heighten this week as the Discover Dominica Authority attempts to encourage positive attitudes and behaviors among the population. This week, several video advertisements will be released featuring Miss Dominica 2016, Tassia Flosak, song star Michael Henderson, and Benji of the Triple K Global Band as part of that campaign. The campaign was launched on Friday.
The campaign will comprise of a series of videos and radio ads, billboards. We even intend to do something in the music video arena, posters, voice drops, recorded by local personalities. So a myriad of things that will essentially get the message and communicate the message to the various publics. The project is geared towards increasing public knowledge on the importance of the tourism industry and to foster positive attitudes and behavior among the local population and students. The campaign will feature service providers highlighting the impact of tourism on their lives as well as their contribution towards the development of Dominica's tourism industry.
The campaign will culminate in May when Dominica celebrates Tourism Awareness Month.
Whereas we typically say tourism is everybody's business, you will see a slight tweak to this one where we talk about tourism being my business. We want to bring it closer to home to certain people so that people really can take stock and understand that tourism plays a part in their livelihoods.
And a man from the Kainago territory will not be spending time behind bars even if he has pleaded guilty to grievous bodily harm with intent. High Court Judge Victoria Charles Clark has imposed a 3-year suspended sentence on 28-year-old Miguel Samuel and ordered him to seek counseling for anger management. But her ladyship said while he deserves to spend time in jail for his crime, he was provoked, he is remorseful, he moved out of the community, and the virtual complainant had also fully recovered. Based on these, she said, she would not impose a custodial sentence. The judge did warn the accused, however, that if he were to return before the court within the 3 years stipulated, he would be sent to jail. Back in 2013, Samuel wounded Bethan Valmore with a cutlass after an argument over the use of a public water tap. That's news. Your sports highlights next with Kenny Williams.
First up in sports, despite best intentions, rain prevented the much-anticipated Bolorama opening of the 2017 cricket season on Sunday. However, public relations officer at the local governing body on cricket says the teams which showed up must be commended for their dedication to the sport.
It's difficult, the rain came at a bad time, but that's God's work, I mean, there's not much you can do about that. But as we could see, there was always a good plan to have a nice, exciting day. We want to thank the teams that brave the weather to show up, because that's a level of encouragement we have. You can see how excited some of these young players are out there. These are little fellas, and you can see how excited they are to get it done.
Although the Bollarama did not take place on Sunday, first knock of the Premier League is expected to begin this weekend. More on the weekend schedule in another sportscast. Meantime, West Indies went down to England by 4 wickets in the second one-day international on Sunday. Windies took first knock and reached 225 all-out in 47.5 overs. Jason Mohammed added 50, while Craig Brathwaite supported with 42. With the target set at 226, England resisted with 226 for 6 in 48.2 overs. Joe Root was undefeated on 90, Chris Wokes scored an unbeaten 68, and Jason Roy supported with 52. Ashley Nurse picked up 3 for 34 for West Indies. In football, there were wins for Mao-Soka Strikers, Malta Caribou Bathurst State, and All Saints Football Club in action from the Dominica Football Association's Division 1 League on the weekend.
On Friday, the match between Digicel Newton Juvenile Academy Harlem United and Club Lubia ended prematurely 13 minutes into the match due to a power failure at the Newton playing field. While on Saturday, Mao-Soka Strikers came from being 1 goal down to defeat RC Doctors 3-1 at the Pori playing field. Duran Sebastian, Dylan Augustine and Kazimi Benjamin scored for Soka Strikers. RC Doctors' goal came from an own goal. And in a doubleheader at the Pori playing field on Sunday, Malta Caribou Bathurst State Football Club defeated Police Sports Club 1-0 in the first match. Marcellus Boni scored for Bathurst State. In the second match of the night, All Saints Football Club edged out Club Lubia 4-3.
Next up, the Ministry of Sports continues to support sporting development through the continued lighting of several playing fields here. This as a three-way partnership continues to help improve sporting facilities around the island.
February, we had the people from, in fact, we have a local contractor who was contracted by the Solaris people from Barbados, who are presently engaged in lighting some of our playing fields. We knew we had a very long list of in excess of 23, 25 playing fields to be lit, and then we decided to move off with 5 of them. As we speak, I can say to you that the playing field in Viekans, in Thibault, these have been lit, also Grand de Geneva playing field, and La Plaine. I know Jolly John, there was a little challenge where there was some excavation work, and that in itself created a little delay. So there was a little expansion of the playing field. But because the Solaris people had already come down and do their own assessment as to the location of the playing field, that in itself was creating a little challenge. But I think we have gotten over that, and we will see the lighting of the Jolly John Park sometime this week.
On to international cricket, where India had a lead of 126 runs with 6 wickets remaining in the second test against Australia on Monday. In the first innings, India batted first and made 189 all-out, with Lokesh Rahul added 90. A ball in the hand of Nathan Lyon spelled trouble for India when he bagged a whopping 8 wickets on his way through India's batting lineup. In reply, the Aussies piled on 276 all-out. Shaun Marsh added 66, while Matt Renshaw supported with 60. In the second innings, India scored 213 for 7 at the end of day 3. C. Pujara was undefeated on 79, while Lokesh Rahul supported with 51. Finally, the Sports Division Under 14 Netball Championships continues with 3 games on Tuesday. Castlebrew Secondary will have home advantage when they take on Isaiah Thomas Secondary at 3 in the afternoon. And the Convent High School Hardcourt will be the venue for 2 matches. First, it will be a clash of the Northeast Comprehensive and the home B team at 3, followed by Pierre Charles Secondary up against the home A team at 4 p.m. That's all the sporting highlights. I am Kenny Williams. Join us next time.
Your weather report is next.
Good evening. Welcome to the weather report and forecast. I am Viola Pascal. Infrared satellite imagery indicate a weak frontal boundary just north of the area, and this is expected to move southward across the island chain by midweek. The visible satellite imagery indicated partly cloudy conditions across Dominica during the afternoon and improvement from cloudy conditions during the morning period. The radar imagery indicated some scattered showers across the island chain during the morning with an improvement by afternoon. The forecast for tonight, expect partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy and breezy conditions with some scattered showers. Similar conditions can be expected tomorrow with an increase in wind speeds across the island. For the marine forecast, rough sea conditions can be expected with waves peaking near 12 feet. As a result, a small craft warning is in effect for above normal seas and brisk winds. By Wednesday, the weak frontal boundary is expected to generate some increase in cloudiness and scattered showers across the area, and this should linger into the weekend. As a result, persons in areas prone to flooding, landslides, and falling rocks are advised to exercise caution. Breezy conditions will be maintained across the island. Across the Caribbean, expect partly cloudy to cloudy conditions with some scattered showers. For the international cities forecast, expect cloudy conditions with showers for New York and Caracas, mostly cloudy conditions for Miami and London, and clear skies in Beijing. The sun will rise at 6:18 a.m. and set at 6:15 p.m. For further information, call the weather hotline at 447-5555 or visit the website at weather.gov.dm. Thanks for joining us. Do have a good evening.
To end the news, the headlines again. Government develops a framework for consumer protection. Dominica hosts the first ever academic conference of ENT specialists in an effort to enhance patient care. And major investment in tourism sites under a $21 million allocation for tourism development. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Louis, and to all our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Join us tomorrow.